Kroger's, an American institution. One that has stepped over into the recycling business. Quite often throughout the morning, afternoon, and early evening, by many supplementing their income in this booming economy. Ones whom desire to keep the earth clean, although the government and the big private businesses do not care to return their cans and bottles. And might I say, at a pretty good rate of return as well. Inside is a beginning line or a pocket full of change for the exchange. Innovation has led to a technology which has produced a one-by-one process that takes in the can and eventually puts out a receipt which then can be turned in for cash. I might imagine, or initially some would say, the supplement of the income is from people that are excessively greedy, that have millions and millions of dollars, or ones that are conscientious about the expenditure of the plastics and the aluminum being reused would ultimately save some of our resources. Where they go to this date, we do not know. I believe China throws them right into the sea. Obviously, metal does have some redeeming value, but how about the plastic? What do they do with the plastic? Do they really actually take those plastic bottles and remelt them and reshape them? And how many times can they do that? Is there a watering down effect at one point or another? Some skepticism remains in regards to the plastic returns, but don't tell the people that are looking to get a little bit of their rent paid that they are doing wrong. It wouldn't matter to them. They simply are able to get money for their returns. Well, some controversy still surrounds it. Some believe that recycling is, just recycled B.S. And some believe that it actually does help. But our resources of the earth itself not able to reproduce consumption at its highest level, and certainly a part of the steaming engine of the economy, would then say that it preserves some of our resources. Is it a worthwhile adventure versus the amount that they put into it? Can they really come up with a few other better ideas or additional ideas that would help produce maybe energy from it? There is a long line of the process from the time that a can comes in to its final product again. It looks like there was maybe a decent compromise made for those that could use a little bit of assistance. And I would gather and venture to say that most of the people here in line are simply collecting a few extra dollars because of the booming economy leaving them out in their $9 an hour jobs. Well, many still do well. It's hard to see the picture of many that aren't doing well. It seems to be a locked-in feature this day of America. Those that have and had grown up and maybe have faint memories of their climb up the ladder had forgotten that some people do not get to climb. And after all, do we still need cart pushers? Do we need garbage men? Do we need lot sweepers still? When is the income rise going to occur there? That would seem to be a significant part of the functioning of a working society. And if you look at the total of the jobs, most of them don't pay very much. And of course, the response generally coming from the upper echelon elite class, or fake elite class, as some may say, is, well, you're supposed to leave those jobs. But what if those jobs number so greatly that there will always be a significant portion of the population that would have to do them jobs? Hence, why the unions had entered in. Unions had said that because it is still a key functionality to keep our streets clean, to have people bagging groceries, to have those stacking shelves, that they too should deserve a wage, or should at least get a wage in a healthy finance country, healthy economic country. Healthy economics would indicate that one can do an honest day's work regardless of what may be considered the simplicity. And after all, most jobs after a certain amount of time are simple, and too often we see that the degrees pad the wage but do not really increase the complexity of the job. Some may disagree, and of course some jobs are very precise, but many aren't. They could probably streamline the whole entire system to get doctors to be doctors quicker, to be accountants quicker. And anybody that's honest, that has gone long enough into school and saw the whole pathway, could easily say that it is reasonably true. I didn't really intend on having some long monologue here about the economic situation, but for sure is that there are an abundant amount of $9 to $10 an hour jobs. How much has that really lifted during this Trump boosted economy? How many? I'm venturing to say it hasn't really changed, made a dent too much into those lower wage jobs, which still probably constitute, I'm not an economics theorist, but I could probably go on Google and find out pretty quickly how many of the today's employment opportunities or in existence jobs pay $9 to $12 an hour. You know how hard it is to be able to even have, a mother or even a father, whatever, stay at home and still pay a rent or a mortgage and a car payment, not too many extra luxuries, and not a whole lot of safety cushion if something would happen to go wrong. That again is not usually covered in his speeches. You don't hear that quite often at all, if at all. So while that person making $150,000 turned over a little bit in the stock market and then increased his or their income to $170, it hasn't changed a significant structure of the country's jobs. Now that we're all officially bored at this point, I'm going to be signing out and signing off. And please see that somebody doing any of the considered simple jobs ought to probably have enough to supply resources for house, car, a vacation here and there, and that is the cold hard truth. Well, and it is the cold hard, no, it's the warming motive that what should then be a little bit. Let me catch up here in the lot.